Yeah, what's up, everybody? It is your AEW Dynamite post show for Wednesday, October 6th. Tonight on the show, Hangman is back. Sammy Guevara defends the TNT title, and the TBS title coming to AEW. A new belt. How about it? How about it, John?
Yeah, new belt. We've heard about these rumors, so they finally just confirmed it. But it's nice. I mean, they're going to a new network station, so it's nice to change up, I guess. They're still going to kind of be on TNT, I guess, as well, though. I guess Rampage will still be on TNT, and just Dynamite's going to TBS. This doesn't affect us at all. We still have the same stuff in Canada, so nothing really changes, sadly, for us.
Yeah.
But at least for, I guess, people in the States, it'll be easier. I think more people get TBS, so that's good for them, I suppose.
Right.
And I guess less preemption for anything that comes sports-wise, because I know there's going to be a lot of hockey now on TNT.
Okay. I don't know. You gave me a lot of information there. It's a lot to process, John. So nothing changes for us, basically. Unfortunately. I can't watch TBS here in Canada. I still have to watch it on TSN or the TSN app or the TSN 3, 4, 5 channel, whatever it's called. I just have to find it on the TSN. Normally it's on like TSN 1 or 2, I think. Tonight it was on TSN 5. 2? Tonight it was on 5.
Yeah, usually it's on 2.
My PVR was hey, what's the deal? Thought it was on 2, so it didn't record it. But I knew ahead of time to check because TSN is all wonky. So I made sure to set the recording tonight for TSN 5. So I didn't miss any Dynamite, thankfully. It was a good show. I like Dynamite. So TBS is happening. TBS is happening in January, I think, for the States. And Rampage is going to stay on TNT as far as Johnny North tells me. So that's the info, right? I got that straight?
Yeah, pretty much straight. But as they said, next week it'll be on Saturday. I guess for the next 2 weeks it's going to be on Saturday, right, Dynamite?
Yeah, I've been telling you about this. I've been telling you Dynamite is moving to Saturdays for a while, and it's annoying. So we're not going to be here on Wednesday nights, and we probably won't be here on Saturday nights post-Dynamite. We might be, if it's worth it. But there's other stuff going on, so I don't know. Saturday nights is not usually a wrestling night for us. I'm not sure. Next Saturday, the 16th of October, it'll be Dynamite in Miami, and the following Saturday, it'll be Dynamite in Orlando. So the next 2 weeks, no Dynamites on Wednesday nights. Dynamite Wednesdays will be back the 27th of October in Boston. So they're going to Florida for a couple Saturdays in a row, and then back to the Northeast. They were in Philly tonight. Hot crowd. Hot crowd tonight for Dynamite. I liked the show. I thought the main event was fantastic. That casino ladder match, despite the ridiculous oversized poker chip that they're all vying for, it just seems a little strange. It's a weird prop. And the fact that, the match could technically end before all the participants enter, but nobody really makes that much of an effort to win the match until everybody has entered the match, right? Like it's a multi-man ladder match, and the guys come in at 2-minute intervals. So it starts with 2 guys. It was Pac and Orange Cassidy. And then Andrade comes out, and even the commentator, Shivani, was like, hey, Andrade, he just did a sunset flip powerbomb off the top of the ladder on Pac there. He could have just gone for the poker chip, but he decided to do a move instead. And I was like, yeah. How come he didn't try to win? Nobody seems to try to win until the match is over, even though until everybody's out there, right? Even though they could end the match at any point prior. It's a weird concept. I don't really like this concept for a match, but the product that we got was fantastic. It's hard to argue with it. That Andrade sunset flip off the top of the ladder there, the powerbomb on Pac was ridiculous. I loved when everybody bumped and fed for Matt Hardy when he came into the match. The bump and feed. Everybody's running into Matt Hardy, and he's hitting him with something. I like that. Archer hitting Orange with the choke slam on the apron, which you might have missed because it was during a commercial break on the picture-in-picture. That was nasty. Archer's entrance in the match was pretty good. I like this match. I thought it was fantastic. And then, of course, when Hangman is the Joker, the mystery man in the match, I was very happy to see him. I wasn't really expecting Hangman. I thought, maybe they'll bring in Bray Wyatt or something like this. Maybe they'll do something. I didn't think it was going to be Hangman for some reason, which, shame on me. I should have thought, Hangman. He's been gone for a while. But it was like a surprise. I was like, Hangman. And I was very happy to see Hangman back. And he winds up winning this casino ladder match to earn a future shot at the AEW World Champion, who is currently Kenny Omega. So Hangman will get another title shot at some point. We don't know when. But I thought the match itself was fantastic. I don't love the way they do it because it's kind of weird. It's kind of awkward until everybody gets in the ring. But, man, they hit some cool moves, right? Cool moves in this match. Rough match for a few guys.
Yeah, a lot of scary moments in this match. A lot of scary falls, and surprising that they did all this stuff like very fast too, because you could tell like they were kind of strapped for time for a bit, and it seemed like I don't know if they'd get everything done in time, but they managed to pull it off. Didn't seem like there was too much problems. I think for the most part, it's just setting up stuff that was kind of taking some time. When you talk about Bray Wyatt, I don't believe his 90-day no compete is up yet. I think it's mid to late October, I think. Like, I think he'd be available not this Saturday, I think the following Saturday.
In Orlando. He could show
yeah,
up,
I think so.
Possibly. I'm not holding my breath to see Bray Wyatt. I don't really care. Yeah, I've heard Impact, right? Yeah. I don't know.
So we'll see what happens. I don't know. But, I mean, it couldn't have happened tonight. It wouldn't be possible.
Okay.
And it's better this way, too. I mean, you're going to get an automatic title shot. It should be someone like Hangman, Moxley, like someone who's actually been there for a bit. Like, you can actually believe that, hey, maybe something could happen here. Not just someone that comes in like Ruby Soho and like, yeah, you'll get a shot, but you're not going to win.
Yeah. Do you think Hangman does win here with this shot? Is this the time where Hangman becomes champion? Kenny's held it for a while. Hangman is clearly very over. He might be the most over babyface in the company. Do they finally put the belt on Hangman here with this title shot?
Well, I think it all depends. Like, is this going to go to the pay-per-view or is this just going to be on Dynamite? If it's just going to be on Dynamite, I don't think there'll be a title change. But if it's at the pay-per-view, especially Full Gear, where it's pretty much 1 year ago they had their match, I could see it definitely be a title change. Yeah. It makes a lot of sense for that to happen. But we'll wait and see because there's Bryan Danielson involved, so that kind of throws things off a bit.
Ooh, triple threat would be pretty sweet. Gotta say, it would be pretty good.
Wait and see. Again, like it's November 13th or 14th or whatever, one of those days. I think is going to be Full Gear, so still a lot of time, still more than a month away, so wait and see how this all shapes up. I'm sure by the end of October we'll have it all figured out, hopefully.
You would assume so. Want to give a shout-out to some of our members. Angelo Contagonis in the chat, Doug Hepper, and I see you guys. What's up, guys? Angelo, happy to see Hangman back. That was his moment of the night. Of course, for sure. Fantastic moment when Hangman made the walk. The crowd just on their feet. Very exciting stuff. Did you think Hangman was going to be there? Did you know that was coming, John? I was surprised.
There was a tweet earlier in the day where people were like, Tony Khan's like, oh, I can't give this away. And like, it felt like all the responses were, oh, it's going to be Hangman. It's going to be Hangman. Because I guess the way he worded it kind of gave it away, I guess, some people.
Okay.
So that's why it seemed like it was going to be him. And again, it couldn't be Bray Wyatt. So maybe it could have been Braun Strowman, but it's like, you don't really need him for this. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Again, it's a Ruby Soho kind of thing. Like, Hangman was the best option.
Yeah.
Unless you go with something completely wild and, it's like someone from Japan.
Which would have been crazy, too. But I was happy with seeing Hangman there. Did you notice the mayhem that Jon Moxley and Lance Archer caused during that match in the crowd? Like, they
Seemed like
were...
fans got hit.
It seemed like some fans were getting hit. At one point, Moxley runs Archer into the barricade, and there's a dad holding his young son, and I think the kid got hit with, like, Archer's hair at the very least. Like, I slowed it down, and they had to, like, back up and recoil when Lance Archer is there. Like, it got pretty wild, man. I guess, you're at a pro wrestling show, you're sitting in the front row, things happen, but there's kids there. Looked like Archer slapped a fan in the face, kind of, at one point. It was wild when they got into the fans there. Moxley and Archer going a little too wild. Gotta be careful. You gotta watch out for the kids.
Well, you gotta watch out for a lawsuit too. I mean,
yeah,
that can be kind of rough. You gotta be careful with this kind of stuff. Like, especially if it's on television, people can see, like, hey, that was unprovoked. Doesn't look good.
Yeah, it was a little wild from Moxley and Archer there. We'll see what happens. Hopefully no repercussions. I don't think anybody got hurt, but definitely rough. There was one fan that just kind of got in the aisleway. I think the announcer should just get on the mic when they're fighting in the crowd and say, "Please stay in your seats. Please remain in your seats." So it creates a level of, like, panic, like, uh-oh, something's going on in the arena, so it kind of heightens the intensity of the moment, and it also keeps everybody in their fucking seats. They do that in Japan. I don't know what the guy says. I don't speak Japanese, in case you didn't know, but the guy gets on the mic in Japan when they're fighting in the crowd and starts saying something. He says something to the crowd, and it's always the same thing. And I'm not going to try and repeat what it sounds like, because I think people will be like, well, you can't do fake Japanese, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, I'm not going to do that. But he's got, like, a phrase that he says, and it adds, like, intensity. I like when he says it. I'm like, oh, shit, it's going down, They're in the crowd. It's wild. I think the announcer should jump on the mic, like Justin Roberts should be like, everyone, remain in your seats. Please remain in your seats. Just the same thing every time. Please remain in your seats. It's not that hard. You say it quickly, it adds intensity, and it keeps guys in their seats, and it keeps the wrestlers a little safer. And it keeps the fans safer as well. Right, John? It's a good idea. I've got plenty of good ideas that I could just steal from New Japan, basically. Doug Hepburn drops a super chat. He says, Dave, with the Yanks out, who wins the World Series? I'd say probably the Rays.
Got like the Rays, no?
I'd say the Rays. Yeah, the Rays are very good. I mean, I'm not watching anymore. I'll tell you that much. After the game yesterday, I'm done watching baseball for 2021. I'll see you next season, baseball. I watch the Yankees and the Yankees only. I'm not interested in other teams. I don't care if other teams win. I'm not interested in that. I enjoy baseball, but not to the extent that I'm going to watch a bunch of games that don't involve the Yankees, Yeah. And my dad's a big Rays fan. He's excited because he thinks they're going to come to Montreal at some point or halfway in the next 8 years or something like that. That's the word, right? The Rays are maybe going to have half their games in Montreal in, like, the year 2028 or something. I think that's the word.
Well,
I don't know.
Whatever happens, I mean, if we get, Major League Baseball back in Montreal, that'll be fantastic. Even if it's only for half a season, that'd be awesome to go see that.
Yeah, I think that would be fantastic. I would still root for the Yankees, though. If they're only half our team, I think it would be hard to root for them all the way. I think I would still be a Yankee fan. Just saying.
Yeah, but aren't we getting, like, the good half? We're getting the second half of the season, so that means we get postseason too, right? So, I mean, got to cheer for that.
I think we wouldn't necessarily get postseason. I think it would be like a 1 year postseason would be Tampa's, and then the next year it would be Montreal's. Like, it wouldn't necessarily be played here. That's the word that I got, but who knows? It's all hypothetical. And also, have you ever seen a baseball team play half of their games in one place and then the next half of the season they play somewhere else? It seems a little far-fetched to me. Like, I know people want to believe it, but it just seems weird. Like, okay, no one else does this. It's not something that's been done before. Not saying it can't be done, but anyways, we're here to talk about Dynamite. Apparently they mentioned me on a radio station today. Wow.
A good one, I hope.
Well, the one that we used to be on, which is interesting because
Oh, okay.
I thought I was banned from that station, but maybe they could say my name. They better watch it, though. They better watch what they say, but I think it was all nice, so it's all right. All right, Dynamite, the ladder match, just phenomenal stuff. Andrade took a beating. Pac took a beating. Andrade, when he got bumped off the top rope and then he fell onto that ladder, like, holy shit, man. What a bump. Was that the bump of the match? I don't know. It's very hard to decide, like, what was the most impressive bump that we saw tonight. It was pretty goddamn impressive. Matt Hardy's leg drop off the ladder through the table on Orange Cassidy. When he goes, huh, and then he does his little leg drop? That's amazing. Right. Fantastic match. I mean, so many great moves, so many great bumps, so many big spots, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of crazy bumps, no question. Hopefully everyone's okay because it looked pretty nasty, some of those bumps. I thought Pac's huge fall, to me, landing from that height right on your head, that can't feel too good.
The Hangman move there? What do you call that move that Hangman did?
He calls it the Deadeye?
Yeah. He does that off the top of the ladder through a table on Pac, and it was rough. It was rough. It looked rough on Hangman's knees. He lands on his knees through the table. It looked rough. Looked rough for everybody. Did we see Pac after that? Did he reemerge, or was he just down and out after that? That was it, right? Which it should be, but yeah, hopefully he's all right. I don't know who took a worse beating. Was it Pac or Andrade? It's rough.
It's pretty even. I mean, we'll wait and see what happens. I thought Andrade looked like he was in amazing shape, though. It looks like he's getting better and better every week in terms of his physique. Looked great.
I was happy to see him. I feel like we don't see him that much on Dynamite.
He shows up, he just doesn't wrestle. He does a promo backstage, and that's it.
Yeah, it's weird. How come he never wrestles on the show? He's a very good wrestler. He was fantastic in this match. This match was really cool because we had a lot of guys that don't wrestle that much on Dynamite. Pac and Andrade, even Lance Archer, who we don't see that much, and then Hangman, who hasn't been around in a while. It felt fresh, right? It felt like, oh, man, this is like a big match. Orange Cassidy's out, and then it's Pac, and it's like, oh, damn, Pac's in this? And then Andrade comes out, and you're like, oh, damn, Andrade's wrestling in this match? Matt Hardy comes out. It's a ladder match. You got to have Matt Hardy in there. Lance Archer, Jon Moxley, and then Hangman. It's pretty star-studded for an AEW match, Can't argue with that. Match of the night. Tremendous. Top grades from me.
No question
I loved it.
About that. In terms of match of the night, I felt the other matches were kind of lacking, so this kind of made up for it. And as much as you criticized the structure of this match, I found the gauntlet style actually made it better because it didn't get dull. Because having new guys come in, it made it kind of fresh. If they're just around ringside all the time waiting for something, it kind of doesn't look as good. It just feels like, oh, we're waiting for the next thing. But having a new guy come in, it just kind of changes how the match was going, in a sense, the direction. It just added a new element. You add someone new into it just randomly.
No, you're right. I think it's fun. It's fun, but if you really think about what's going on, you're like, well, wait a second. Why don't they go for the poker chip earlier in the match? Why do they wait till everybody's in the match? Because they want it to be fair? Come on, that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? From a logical standpoint, if this were real, you'd be like, well, try to get up the ladder, man. Let's go. What are we doing?
No, you're not wrong, but that's more on the guys in the match. They got to play more into that match story instead of just waiting for everyone to show up. Mm-hmm. That's on the guys in the match.
You say the matches were lacking. I thought we had some good matches tonight. I liked Shida versus Deeb. I also liked Sammy Guevara versus Bobby Fish. I thought that was fantastic. That was a very good match.
I thought it was all right, but I felt like it was just getting going, and then suddenly it was over. It's like, oh, this is good, and it's like it's starting good, and it just, it was over. It could have been a bit longer, that one.
I liked Bobby Fish here. I thought he looked really good. I hope AEW gives him a contract. I think he'd work well in this company. As a matter of fact, I think he'd work well with the group that came out and attacked Sammy Guevara. right? He had kind of like an MMA style. They did a little video package for Bobby Fish. He was in an MMA gym. He was hitting a bag. And then the MMA squad, the American Top Team, they all come out to attack Sammy Guevara after the match. I feel like Fish would fit in real well there. I didn't see Scorpio Sky's tag team partner. Where was Ethan Page during this beatdown? Why doesn't Bobby Fish just replace him?
I think Ethan Page just had a kid, so I think that's why.
Okay. Well, congratulations to Ethan Page. But if they need somebody to replace, Bobby Fish, or just to jump into that group, I think Fish would work really well because he wrestles that style. He's got that kind of gimmick, apparently. So I like that match. Sammy Guevara defending the AEW TNT title, his first title defense here. Hits his GTH to retain the title. Kind of like a reverse GTS. Are he and Punk
Pretty
on a
much,
collision
yeah.
course here to,
Honestly, like it should be him and Andrade. I think that'd be the match to go for. I think.
I think that would be a good match. Maybe down the road, Andrade might be the guy to take it from Sammy Guevara. I don't know how long Sammy Guevara holds on to this TNT title if he's going to defend it a lot. I think eventually somebody's going to come out and beat Sammy. Sorry.
Well, I could easily
see
see
as a long reign.
like Miro's probably going to come back with his wife. So if Sammy's still champion, he's probably going to lose it to Miro if that's going to be the case.
You think Lana's going to be in AEW?
Oh yeah, it feels because he keeps talking about it all the time, so it makes sense. And plus, like she owns the name, so she can still use that name. They'll do it. It's going to get a great reaction.
Yeah, I think it's possible, but it might turn Miro babyface. I don't know. Paige Van Zant came to the ring, and she distracted Sammy Guevara so that a bunch of goons could jump Sammy. Austin Vanderford, Paige's husband, Junior Dos Santos, former UFC heavyweight champion, Scorpio Sky, Dan Lambert, and some other guy. I don't know who the other guy was. Seemed like maybe an MMA guy, but I did not recognize him. Big Jack dude. No idea who that guy was. So Scorpio jumps on Sammy. Junior Dos Santos then throwing some ground and pound from full mount on Sammy. Fuego del Sol tries to make the save, but he gets taken out. I like that Fuego is like the first one to come out. Jericho and Hager take their time. They show up eventually. Jericho takes out Scorpio and Junior Dos Santos. Kind of an awkward exchange between Jericho and Junior Dos Santos. I don't know if you noticed what happened there. Jericho starts like punching back at JDS, and JDS didn't seem to know when to bump, and he bumped when Jericho did not hit him, and then he rolled out of the ring. It was weird. And Junior Dos Santos is going to wrestle in a match, which I can only imagine will be terrible. I don't know. I hope that he's great, but from his performance tonight, I don't know if Junior Dos Santos will be able to do this. Dan Lambert cut a promo after this whole exchange where Hager and Jericho kicked out the American Top Team guys. Lambert got booed so hard it was pretty difficult to hear him. Lambert challenged Jericho, Hager, and Sammy to a six-man tag match, I think, against Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, and Junior Dos Santos. He says Jorge Masvidal will be there to back him up on October 15th when they wrestle. Jericho, just showing that he's the best, showing that he's a pro, he grabs the mic, and the first thing he says is what everybody's thinking. I didn't hear a word you were saying there, Dan Lambert, and the crowd pops like crazy. What a line from Jericho. Like, off the cuff, he's such a pro. You see Dan Lambert doing his little thing, and then Jericho, boom, cuts him off. First line, just killer. And, so Jericho basically accepts the match and calls them dipshits and stuff like that. It was a fun exchange. Whoa, thank you, Derek John. Thank you for staying with us. So Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, and Junior Dos Santos will wrestle Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, and Sammy Guevara on a Dynamite on October did they say the 15th? Because it's the 16th.
I think so. Well, then they were wrong then.
Right?
16th.
Yeah, it's a
Because it won't be
Saturday.
this week. It'll be next. It'll be next week.
Yeah, and they were saying Dynamite, right? Not Rampage. Did they say Rampage or Dynamite? Because
I
Dynamite.
felt like they said Rampage.
Oh, Rampage. Okay, Rampage will be on the 15th then. Rampage is on Friday. Dynamite's on the Saturday, the 16th. So
And it's better that way too. If you're concerned about JDS, like that match will be taped then if it's on Rampage. So then they could kind of edit out if there's any problems then.
well, how are they taping Rampage? It can't be taped. I don't understand when Rampage is being taped. Because Rampage is on Friday in Miami. Okay, John? Friday the 15th. And then Dynamite is on Saturday the 16th.
Right.
So why would Rampage be taped? Wouldn't Rampage be live on the Friday night? Don't they usually tape Rampage after Dynamite? But they can't tape Rampage after Dynamite because Dynamite's on Saturday. And they have to air Rampage on Friday.
Well, they probably are just going to tape it regardless, right? And then just air it on the Friday.
So tape it on Friday and then air it via tape delay? Why do that? Why not just run it live? That doesn't make sense. It's got to be live. I don't think it's taped.
Hopefully it's live, but do you think,
it will be.
That means Dynamite will be taped then?
I don't know, because tonight on Dynamite, they were like, oh, next Saturday night, it's live. It's not going to be taped. They even said it's not going to be taped next Saturday.
Well, it's going to be very interesting then.
I'm confused. I think they're doing 2 live shows next week.
Wow.
Friday and Saturday, both in Miami. I think. That's what it seems like. Because they can't tape Rampage after Dynamite if Rampage airs before Dynamite next week, right? Can't do that.
I guess the fact that they're in Florida is going to make this easier, I suppose.
Why?
They don't have to move around so much. They don't have to worry about, well, we were here, then we're there for different shows, So at least they're pretty much going to be in the same area.
Well, they're in Miami back-to-back nights. It's the same city.
Yeah.
It's the same arena, probably. I think it's the same arena. Anyways, that's next week in AEW. A lot of confusing scheduling for AEW over the next couple of weeks for Dynamite going to Saturdays. The opening match, usually the best match on the card. Tonight, not. Thought the main event was the best match on the card. Kenny Omega, Adam Cole, and the Young Bucks beat Bryan Danielson, Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Christian. Christian took an indie taker from the Bucks outside the ring and was then helped to the back, so it was really a 4-on-3 match for the most part of this one. The Super Elite, all 4 guys hit the BETE trigger on Jungle Boy, and then Adam Cole got the pin for the win for the Super Elite, Kenny, Adam, and the Bucks. It was all right. Yeah, they sold tickets for both nights. I know. It's 2 live shows. Yeah, I know. It's 2 live shows. You could buy tickets for both. It's like a package deal. Sorry, go ahead, John.
Well, it's good for them. It's better when it's live. It's not as good when it's taped.
Yeah.
But like
that Dos Santos match, that Dos Santos match could be fucking a whole episode of Botchamania. Depends how much they let him wrestle. Like, JDS could fuck that all up. Jericho's team should have Cain Velasquez come in and help them. Cain Velasquez did wrestle in WWE. He wrestled in Mexico as well. I don't know where he's at, but Cain and Junior Dos Santos had a pretty decent rivalry in the UFC. They fought 3 times. JDS won the first one by knockout on the UFC's first ever fight on Fox, and then Cain beat the shit out of him, really, in 2 straight fights after that. Fucking went to war, those guys. Legends of the game. I think it would be cool if AEW brought in Cain Velasquez. Especially for this, but I don't know. They might not. They might just have Chris Jericho beat up Junior Dos Santos, because that's believable.
Oh, wait and see. I mean, the interest is there because JDS is wrestling. I mean, the fact that they announced that was like that's got my interest right away just to see what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
It might not be good, but I got to see what's going to happen. This is a former UFC heavyweight champion.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what he can do.
Yeah. Is he going to be, like Brock Lesnar, or is he going to be more like Tank Abbott?
Or Kane.
Cain Velasquez? Cain Velasquez was pretty good.
He had potential, but it didn't reach that potential, sadly.
Yeah, I don't know why. He got injured, and then that was it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where he is. I don't know where he's been. He seemed like he could wrestle. A hell of an athlete. I hope Junior Dos Santos can wrestle, but it was awkward tonight. It was super awkward. Paige Van Zandt, I keep saying, is perfect for pro wrestling. She should be in pro wrestling. I don't think pro fighting is really for her anymore. I think pro wrestling is probably the best place for her to be. Her husband there is going to fight Gegard at some point. Good luck to him. And, yeah. The rest of the crew, I don't really know who they were tonight. I know Masvidal's in the picture. He's going to fight Leon Edwards and probably get the shit kicked out of him at that point, too. I got Edwards all day in that fight. Yeah. But JDS wrestling is something. It's something. I know a lot of people don't give a shit because they're not UFC fans, but for those of us that are, like, that's kind of cool. You know?
It's going to get people talking. There's no question about it. But going back to the first match of the night,
yeah,
like I thought it started off pretty good, actually. I thought there was some great wrestling back and forth. Christian, Jungle Boy working together was good. Bryan Danielson, thought he gave some great kicks, some great chops, really lit up. I think it was Matt Jackson, like really good. Thought it started great. It was up till that Indie Taker. Once that Indie Taker happened, then it seemed like the match went downhill quite a bit because the Indie Taker looked like garbage. And there was just way too much of this whole, like, no tags and just, 4 guys in the ring at once doing tag moves. And it's like, what the heck? And it went on until the finish. And that's what kind of hurt it a lot.
Yeah, I was not a huge fan of this match. It had its moments, but overall it was just kind of like, all right. Next. Didn't
It's
love
not good when that's your top guys, too. That's Kenny and that's Bryan Danielson. It's not good.
I'm just tired of this Bryan Danielson. I'm actually more tired. It's not that I'm tired of Bryan Danielson versus the Elite. I'm tired of him teaming up with these guys. I'm tired of Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy against the Elite. They never win. They're not credible. It's just like, all right, more of Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, and they just keep pushing the shit out of Jungle Boy, and, like, he's good and all, but there's a lot missing from the Jungle Boy experience. There's a promo, there's, like, size. There's a lot fucking missing from Jungle Boy. And,
still young, though.
Yeah, he's still young, and I'm sure he'll be a future star in AEW because they are destined, or they're fucking hell-bent on making him their next star, right? But of the 4 pillars that MJF fucking talked about, right? MJF, Darby, Sammy, and Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
Jungle Boy's the weakest link at this point. Like, they push him like crazy, but, like, if you compare him to Sammy, who's got attitude, who in the ring is, I'd say, just as good as Jungle Boy. And then you got MJF.
I'd say better.
Who's Sammy? Yeah, I'd say he's better. I agree with you.
Yeah.
And he's got more of a promo and more of a look, you know what I mean? And then you got fucking MJF, who's just a goddamn star. He's one of the best promos in the business. And then you got Darby, who's fucking incredible. He's like a main event level guy already, and he's young and still going to be better over time. The promos are improving. He's got a hell of a look. He's not huge, but he's got like a look. What the fuck is Jungle Boy? He's like Tarzan? Like, what? He's Luke Perry's son, but he's also Tarzan. His name's Jungle Boy. Like, JR is right to call him Jungle Jack Perry or whatever the fuck he calls him, because at least it's like, oh, he's a human, He's a person, there's something behind him, give him something more than what the fuck he is right now. Because what he is right now is like like Tarzan and Luchasaurus, and it's like, it's not great. I like him. I think he's a very talented wrestler, but there's a lot missing. And seeing him against the top guys in the company, like Kenny Omega and Adam Cole, like he just lost to Adam Cole or whatever. Didn't he lose to Adam Cole last week? He's not credible.
Yep.
They keep putting him up against these guys, and they keep losing. Like Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, they had tag team matches against the Bucks, and they lost. They keep losing. And when you keep throwing these guys at the Elite, and they clearly have no chance, well, I'm going to lose interest. And I think it's hurting Jungle Boy. Like, on the one hand, you say, oh, well, he's getting the exposure and wrestling the main guys. On the other hand, he keeps losing. He's got no fucking character, and his promos are fucking non-existent. And when they do happen, they're not that interesting. He's got very little, like, he's very monotone, and, like, he doesn't have a lot of personality, not a lot of attitude, you know? I don't know. I like Jungle Boy, but there's a lot missing, and for him to be one of these guys that AEW is going to fucking really depend on, there's got to be more. There's got to be some development there.
No, you're completely right. There's no doubt about that. It's just he still has time, so let's hope that he develops, and I think that's what they're hoping for at this point. He can take a bunch of losses, but that's the other thing too. Like, there's only so many losses you can take before people stop believing in you, and it's kind of showing now too when you're wrestling top guys and you're constantly losing all the time. They just got to change it up now. It's been too much now with them against the super elite. It's clearly a mismatch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Them and even Christian at this point. Christian by association with these guys. Like Christian wrestling the Elite, it's like, all right, we know you're not going to win, man. We know. Bryan Danielson is kind of being brought down by the rest of that crew. Because they've already...
first tag loss. First loss,
right? That's it. Like, they've already been up against them. The rest of those guys have already tried and failed miserably at going up against the Elite. Here's Bryan Danielson, and he's done all right. He had a draw with Kenny. He's looking strong. And then his team, his guys that he chooses to align himself with are fucking jabronis. And now he aligns himself with these guys. Now he loses. It's not good. It's not good. CM Punk. Is he just going to beat all the young guys in the company until he just fucking gets bored and quits wrestling again? Like, what's his deal? He's like, oh, I'm going to come to AEW, and I'm going to beat Darby, and then I'm going to beat Will Hobbs, then I'm going to beat Daniel Garcia, and I'm going to beat all the fucking young guys that are trying to push. I'll beat Jungle Boy next, and MJF, and fucking the Four Pillars or whatever. Sammy Guevara. Wouldn't that be funny if Punk just started beating all the guys, and then at the end he's like, yeah, Sammy Guevara too, takes the title from him. He's like, ah, fuck you. And then he turns. He's like, see, I wasn't a good guy the whole time. I told you. I'm here to just fucking wrestle all the young guys. I'm not here to lose to them. I'm beating all of them. You idiots. Like, that'd be fun. But that seems to be what he's doing. Like, what the He challenged Daniel Garcia for a match on Rampage, which is going to happen now. I don't know.
This one kind of makes more sense because Daniel Garcia tried to ruin the match with him and Darby Allin. So now it's like, well, if you want to wrestle me, now you get your chance. So this one kind of makes more sense. And you're not wrong about the whole, like, yeah, he's just going after the young guys. But that's why he came back to wrestling. So, all right, let him do it. And eventually, yeah, he is going to turn heel. It's just he's got to go through more heels first.
He came back to wrestling to beat all the young guys in wrestling?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
It's kind of a dick move. Anyways, he's not going to put anybody over, ever? Who's he going to put over? Fucking Matt Hardy? Like, what's going on here? I love it. I love it.
Well,
that'd
when
be
he gets
funny.
to Kenny, that'll be interesting.
Kenny, maybe, yeah. If he gets there. If he gets there, I don't know. Like, if Hangman takes the belt from Kenny, like, Punk and Kenny might have to wait for another day. Punk talked about having Jordans and how he used to have no money and now he can buy Jordans and he's got Jordan 1s. Then he gave them away to a kid in the front row, which is kind of nice, I guess. Punk asks the crowd if he said he was going to maybe buy them cheesecake, and then they booed him, and then he was like, oh, yeah, I meant cheesesteak because of Philly, you know. I think he meant to say cheesesteak and not get booed, but he messed up and said cheesecake. And then he says, oh, Philly, do you want me to wrestle tonight or buy you all cheesesteaks? And they're like, yeah, I don't know. They didn't seem that hell-bent on seeing him wrestle. It felt like they were like, cheesesteaks.
I heard wrestling.
Yeah, all right, I don't know.
I heard wrestling actually more.
But then he didn't wrestle tonight. So he's just fucking messing with us here.
They're gonna see it anyway. So
yeah, I know they're gonna see it, but Punk, the match is not happening till Friday. Yeah, what kind of promo is that? You guys want to see me wrestle tonight or cheesesteaks? And they're like, wrestle. And he's like, all right, I'll wrestle later. And then Dynamite ends, and people watching at home are like, I thought CM Punk was gonna wrestle tonight. Didn't he say that earlier in the promo? But no, you have to know that they're taping Rampage after, and that's going to air in front of the same crowd, and then on Friday, and like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, Punk. What the fuck was that? I was like, what? You're going to wrestle tonight? And then it's like, Rampage. It's like, oh, I see. Because you're taping Rampage.
Well, they got to get people to watch the show, so I understand what they're doing. It makes sense. I mean, and I think the people who are there don't mind. They get to see him no matter what. So
yeah, but he should have just said Friday night then. Do you guys want to see me wrestle, or do you want to see me cheesesteaks? And they're like, wrestle. And he's like, all right, I'll wrestle Daniel Garcia Friday night on Rampage. And they know that Rampage is about to be taped in front of them. They're not going to boo. They'll cheer. And then the crowd at home is not confused. Like, huh? What do you mean tonight? Can't he just say Friday night? Like, if that were in WWE, Vince would be like, God damn it, pal, go back and record that again. We're live. Well, fuck. Like, he'd be pissed, you know? He'd be like, you're supposed to say Friday. Because people are watching on TV, and they're like, hey, wait a second. You said you're going to wrestle tonight, and then you don't. That's it. There's continuity issues there, okay?
I think just saying on Rampage is fine.
Okay, fine. Fuck you then. Don't agree with me, you dick. Fucking John. All right. What do you think of the Arn Anderson promo outside of Cody's house? He has broken into Cody's backyard and lit some sort of fire in a trash can. And I think it's a suit or something that Arn is burning. And eventually Cody comes outside, and Cody's like, what the fuck are you doing here, Arn? What, are you going to shoot me? What are you, crazy bastard? And Arn's like, fuck you, Cody, you suck. What, are you going to paint a star on your face, you loser? And then Cody doesn't want Arn to burn the tie that he's wearing. Cody, like, comes out in, like, a tie and a shirt. You know, obviously he's not just wearing a tie, but he's got, like, clothes on, you know? And Arn goes to rip the tie off of Cody and is like, I'm going to burn this too. And Cody's like, can we not burn the tie, Arn? I get it. Like, I'm focused. And Arn slaps him in the face, and he's like, you turned your back on all of us, Cody, And I'm like, what the fuck was this? It was just weird, man. Cody at this point is just being harassed by crazy old Arn Anderson, who's threatening people with gun violence one week. The next week, he's breaking into Cody's backyard and lighting fires. I think Arn is just starting to lose it at this point. I know what they're trying to say, like Arn is a hard-nosed coach, and he's trying to teach Cody that he's got to have the edge again, and Cody's gone Hollywood, and Arn's pissed, and, you know, but really, tonight it came off like Arn's crazy, and Cody's like, what the fuck's going on? Like, if an old man was in my backyard burning shit, and I came out, and he's like, give me your tie, I'm going to burn that too. I'd be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Can we not burn my clothes over here? What's going on? Fucking weird guy. Anyways, it was kind of fun to watch, but it was also bizarre behavior from Arn Anderson. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, I think Arn's okay. I think they're just actually loving this. The way people are reacting to Arn, making all these memes of Arn now with guns. Now they're probably going to have him at like campfires or something, telling scary stories or something. I could see some of that go down with Arn. I think they like Arn like unhinged in a sense, and they're just trying to run with it as much as possible. Because it's probably the best part of the story so far.
Yeah, the crazy Arn, like the Arn Anderson threatening gun violence last week went viral. People were very excited about Arn Anderson saying that he would shoot a man in the head.
There's T-shirts now.
Are there gun T-shirts, really? You could buy an Arn Anderson shoot you in the face T-shirt?
I think it's Get Armed or something like that.
Oh, my God.
Or it's Armed Anderson. Yeah.
You know, it'd be hilarious if Cody just got pissed at Arn and came out one week and he's like, "Fuck you, Arn! I got a new coach, Psycho Sid," and it's like Psycho Sid, and he's like, "Ah, fuck you, Arn, you piece of shit." Super chat. Wouldn't that be great? Because Arn and Psycho Sid famously stabbed each other. Angelo dropping a super chat. Thank you, Angelo. Patrick C. Hamilton dropping a super chat. Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate you guys. Doug Hepburn still the super chat leader. Still leading. Oh. Yeah, Doug is still the leader by a bit, by like 3 cents. What the fuck is going on here? What are you guys doing? I don't know. These guys are doing. They're playing their own game here on the super chat. I don't know what's going on. They're just super chatting for super chat's sake. They got no comments. They're just battling with each other. Doug is leading with 279, which is I don't know what's going on here. Anyways, wouldn't it be good if Sid came out
battles
as Cody's new guy? Cody's like, "Fuck you, Arn. I got Sid. I'm coming for you."
No, I don't think we need something like that to go down. That sounds like it's going to lead to something terrible. We don't need something like that to go down.
Why not?
Not on television.
I like terrible things to happen. It's fun. They're going to let Junior Dos Santos wrestle, so why the fuck not?
That could be a lot of fun. I mean, that can go either way. Sid and Arn, that can only end badly.
Do you give a shit about CM Punk versus Daniel Garcia? Because I do not. I'm kind of tired of CM Punk wrestling these guys for no reason. Could he, be in a real program with somebody?
Well, he's got to wrestle a bunch of guys in order to face, the top tier, right? So you got to get through these couple matches. This is only, his third, fourth match? So that's it. He's going to be wrestling the lower tier for a bit.
Should he wrestle Bryan Danielson at Full Gear?
Well, at this point, it doesn't seem like it's going to happen whatsoever. But it would be fun to see.
And they're both kind of working their way up, right? So why not meet now?
Right. Yeah. That'd be fun to see. But I don't know if you just gave it away like that out of nowhere. You got to kind of build that up a bit. If you could make that for the title.
Yeah, I mean, down the road, that would make sense. But if Hangman versus Kenny for the belt goes down in Full Gear, who's Punk's opponent? Who's Bryan's opponent? What do you do?
I think you do, well, it's one or the other. One of them faces Adam Cole. Because Adam Cole's undefeated still. Someone's got to do that. CM Punk's still undefeated, so I think you do that one, actually.
Probably Bryan, though. They're more...
Maybe.
Also, Bryan needs to get that win back from SmackDown. That was bullshit. Remember when Adam Cole got brought up to NXT and beat Daniel Bryan on SmackDown? I'm still mad about that. Get Bryan that win back over that fucking guy.
Well, fine. You can have that. Maybe you do Punk and Ricky Starks first, possibly. But it seems like Starks and Brian Cage, there's still stuff to be done there. Oh. I think they said they're wrestling next week, or...
That match is happening on Rampage, Philadelphia Street Fight for the FTW title. Ricky Starks versus Brian Cage. Friday night on Rampage. In Philly.
So there you go. Starks should be available for the pay-per-view. Do him and Punk. I think that should be pretty good.
I mean, there's a lot of matches for Punk. I just kind of want him to be involved in something, not just wrestling random guys. Now it's Will Hobbs. Now it's Daniel Garcia. How about Punk versus Sting? We didn't get that. Give me the Sting match. How about Punk versus I don't know, man. There are some good options. Miro?
Yeah, but you can't. You're going too high up the card there on that one. You gotta a bit lower first still. I think Ricky Starks is the next one, really. That's not too low, but it's not too high.
Yeah. Punk versus Pac or Andrade would be fun too. Punk Andrade would be
Yeah,
pretty
but
nice, but I don't see that happening right now.
yeah, Andrade, again, someone they don't want to, I think, take a loss right now because he barely wrestles, right? So his first loss is going to be like a huge deal. And I see him probably winning the TNT Championship or some sort of championship before he takes a loss, I think. He's going to be like Miro, I think.
A lot of good options, man. Malachi Black, Cody Rhodes. Like to see Punk wrestle those guys. So many different guys in AEW for Punk to wrestle. I just want him to wrestle somebody that's, got some weight to them. Got, Daniel Garcia, he's just a guy who loses a lot. Like, I want somebody, like a star, I want Punk to wrestle a star in AEW, not just one of the wrestlers. I'd like Punk to be in there in a real feud with somebody, not just kind of keep doing this whatever thing that he's doing right now. Give me somebody that you think Punk might lose to. Like even Ricky Starks, it's like, come on. He's not losing to Ricky Starks. He's not losing to Will Hobbs. The guy beat Darby Allin in his first night in the company, and it was like expected that he would beat Darby Allin. You got to give me something that makes you wonder, Punk versus fucking Daniel Garcia, Punk versus Ricky Starks. It's like, come on, man. Those guys don't have a chance. Give me something where you wonder going into the match, where you're not sure.
Well, that's why you want the top tier, because then if you get that, then you get some wondering. If you got like a Kenny, if you got like a Hangman, then you're like, yeah, Punk could win this one, but there's a good chance you could still lose this one too. So it really could go either way on that one.
I'm just tired of the current direction for Punk. I hope they change it soon. Right? Like, it can't go on like this forever. Like,
Punk,
he
said it could, or he wants it to.
Like this?
Oh, he said, I thought you'd be sick of me. And then, well, you guys aren't, so I'll just keep doing this.
By Full Gear, they have to do something more. It has to be more substantial for the pay-per-view. They got to give him a real opponent where he's doing promos on that opponent for a couple weeks at least leading into the pay-per-view. So by the time they get back to Wednesday nights, by the end of October, that 27th of October Dynamite in Boston, Punk's got to start feuding with somebody. Him and MJF would be a lot of fun, but I think MJF is doing something with Darby right now, which is pretty cool.
Talk about that.
I like that.
That was interesting.
Yeah,
I like the idea. It could be better.
What happened there? I don't think that was actually FTR and Sean Spears under the hoods. Why were they wearing those ski masks? Like, why were they, and why did they never reveal their faces? That was weird. Darby Allin's backstage being interviewed in the parking lot about wrestling MJF on Dynamite next week, right? They are wrestling next week on Dynamite, which is cool. And then a limo pulls up.
No, they took that away, actually.
Oh, is that not happening now because of the attack on Darby?
Yeah, exactly. They said because of the attack, he's not cleared now to wrestle.
I see. Well, that makes sense. Push it further. This is a serious feud. And another one where you wonder, like, who wins here, MJF or Darby? It's a big one. So a limo pulls up, and then a man with a ski mask shows up behind Darby, hits him with a chair. That guy takes the camera away from the cameraman. A couple more guys come out with masks. They attack Darby. MJF comes out with a mask on, eventually out of the limo after Darby got beat down for a while. He attacks Darby too. The announcers tell us it's the Pinnacle. They say, oh, that's got to be Wardlow because he hit the F10 on Darby there. They beat up Darby in the parking lot on a barricade. It was pretty rough. But, MJF never took the hood off, and I guess they're going to say that MJF is going to claim that he didn't attack Darby, and that's why they kept their masks on the whole time. But it's kind of like... it makes you wonder, was that FTR under the masks? Maybe they just didn't have the whole Pinnacle there. Maybe Sean Spears or FTR weren't there, so They just put some other guys under the masks and hope for the best? What do you think? Was it them
That's
or
what
was
I
it not
thought.
them? Yeah, it wasn't them, right?
Well, but I think they want you to believe it was them. They
Right.
just did this whole "we're just gonna jump" kind of thing. And like I like the idea of like getting the camera from the cameraman, but you defeated the whole purpose of that when you have another cameraman filming them still at the same time. So it's like there's still someone filming this whole heinous act and not doing anything. So why what was the point of stealing the camera then? Because it's still being filmed by someone else anyways.
Yeah. Like, if it was the Pinnacle and they did want to kind of shield you from seeing this attack on Orange or Darby, wouldn't they get rid of the camera? It's a good point. So it was weird. You know, it was clearly supposed to be the Pinnacle. The announcers told you it was the Pinnacle, but they never removed their hoods. So I believe that they just didn't have all the guys there, so they put them in masks, and they were like, yeah, let's just pretend that it's Sean Spears, even though he's not here.
Well, it's not so much like shielding like us from seeing the attack. I think they wanted us to see the attack. That's why they took the camera, right? So then the cameraman wouldn't like leave away or do something, you know, like, oh, we have control of this. We want you to see this. But when there's another cameraman behind, it defeats the whole purpose of why you did that in the first place. Because someone is still filming you anyway. So
Oh, that's true.
why steal the camera?
Because it's fun? I have no idea. It was weird.
I don't know. It was a half-ass idea, not one, I think.
Darby took a good beating in it, though, as he always does, right?
Oh, it was,
It was rough.
Again, like parts of this was good, but it just wasn't well thought out.
Yeah, that's it. There were some good parts, but some confusing parts too. Darby had a match earlier in the night. He beats Nick Camarado with the coffin drop. Pretty short match. Not much there, right? Simple.
What hurts this kind of match is like, oh, we come right back from the break. Oh, coffin drop's over. Like,
Yeah.
wow, it really felt like it was a nothing match.
Yep. QT Marshall was in Camarado's corner. He comes into the ring behind Sting after the match. Sting with Darby, of course. Marshall hits the diamond cutter on Sting. Sting just gets up, no-sells it, kicks QT in the balls, then hits him with the Scorpion Death Drop so that everybody sees Sting hit his signature maneuver.
We get that every week.
Yep. I mean, it's for the crowd. People like to see the stinger. Tony Schiavone in the ring. When they said Tony was going to have a big announcement, I thought it was Tony Khan. I didn't think it would be Tony Schiavone.
But Tony said like he would say the announcement for Khan, so
it's weird. Tony Schiavone says Dynamite's moving to TBS January 5th, and also there is a TBS Championship, and Ref Aubrey is there to show you the TBS Championship. It's for the women's division. It's like the TNT title. What that is for the men's division, the women's get that too. So a secondary title for the women's division, which I think is very good. The women need more things to fight over. You know, there's a big division, and we need to give them more reason to feud, and another title makes a lot of sense. A women's tag team championship would make sense too, and maybe they do that down the road, but so far the TBS championship makes a lot of sense to me. They're going to do a tournament to crown the first ever champion. I like Britt Baker's promo backstage when she was asked about the TBS title. Says all the jealous bitches in the back can now fight amongst themselves while she sits at the top as the real champion, the top champion of AEW. Good little promo from Britt. We saw Sky Blue and Jade Cargill and Ruby Soho and Thunder Rosa do a little promo package about the TBS title tournament, so I assume that they will be in it. And after seeing Jade Cargill beat the shit out of Nyla Rose and Thunder Rosa on Rampage on Friday, I assume that Jade Cargill is on her way to becoming the first ever TBS champion. Team Jade Cargill forever. Jade Cargill is going to wrestle on Rampage again this week against Sky Blue, whoever that is. Jade Cargill will get another victory. The undefeated, undisputed, unquestioned Jade Cargill. The best. Don't question it.
Well, I think it's just fair to say, like, just looking on who we have in this tournament possibly, it feels like it's going to be Thunder Rosa versus Jade in the end, in the finals.
It's a big match.
That's probably, again, it's going to be for Full Gear more than likely.
I thought that they might push it to when they debut on TBS. No? Like, are they going to have a TBS championship before they're actually on TBS?
Well, you could do that. That's one possibility. Crown a champion or have the actual first title defense on the first episode on TBS. I mean, either way.
It's kind of tough, though, if you, like, crown the first champion on November 14th or whatever, and then you don't have her defend the title until January. Like, that's a long wait. But also, if you just announce the championship now and say you're going to have a tournament, to not actually have the finals of the tournament until January, that's also a long wait. So I don't know. It seems odd, though, to have a TBS championship before you're even on TBS. Right? It's weird.
Well, let's remember the TNT championship. They crowned that at the pay-per-view. I want to say it was Double or Nothing.
But didn't they go on TNT? Like, weren't they already on TNT when that happened?
Yeah, well, like all the tournament was on TNT.
Right.
But the finals were still at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, but John, what I'm saying is they're not on TBS. So they're going to have a TBS championship without even being on TBS at all until January, which is weird. It's like saying, hey,
yeah, it is weird. You're right.
Come on. It's weird, man. So,
but again, like you're kind of stuck in both situations because, again, the tournament's going to be so long. It's a tough situation.
Yeah. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know when they're going to start that thing. They didn't tell us. They just gave us a few people that we expect to be in it. Maybe Serena Deeb and Hikaru Shida will be in it. Before this match, a trophy was brought out, and it was to give to Hikaru Shida if she won the match. It was a trophy to commemorate her being the first woman in AEW to reach 50 wins. And as soon as they brought that trophy out before the match, I said, oh, well, Shida's going to win. Why'd they bring out this trophy? And she lost, which I really enjoyed. I like that she lost the match and didn't get the trophy. As a matter of fact, Serena Deeb, after making Shida tap out to the D block, Serena hit Shida with the trophy. Seemed to turn heel there.
Just a small correction. I think it's called the Serenity Lock.
Oh, whatever. I call it the D block. I like that better. D block. You know, like D block. You know, the locks. Anyways. Yeah, I thought that match was pretty good. I liked the match, and I like that they brought out the trophy, and it's like, this is for 50 wins. Here, Shida, you're about to win your 50th, and it's like, nope, she doesn't win. That was good. I wonder if they're going to bring out that trophy now every time Shida has a match until she wins the 50th. Or was that just for tonight?
It's interesting. Like, they started something, or are they going to continue it now is the question. You see this a lot in the women's division. They start something, but where does it go afterwards? Usually just nowhere. So hopefully this continues. Like, they turned Serena heel.
Yeah.
So that, to me, was the major takeaway from this. Whatever happens with Shida, we'll have to wait and see. But I could easily see them redo this match again, possibly in the tournament, possibly.
I could see Serena Deeb as a winner of the tournament to become first TBS champion, too.
I don't know. It's tough.
She's good.
Super chat.
Because they didn't put her, like, she didn't get, like, a promo, right? So you would have thought she would have got a promo or something.
Yeah.
Like, she might be in the tournament. Just to believe that she's going to win, though, it's kind of tough. Like, I would think more towards Jade or Thunder Rosa at this point.
I'm always towards Jade. I think Jade's going to win. Jade is the best. Jade Cargill forever. I'm team Jade all the way, every day. That bitch. Doug Hepburn says, I'm here to win Super Chat and chew bubblegum. I'm out of bubblegum. So he's just winning the Super Chat. Doug Hepburn is on his way. He is the leader. He's got a sizable lead now on the rest of the pack. Doug Hepburn out in front. I really like the idea of a TBS Championship. I think it's fantastic. The women's division definitely needs it. AEW Dynamite needs more Dark Order. I wasn't satisfied with that little backstage promo there. It was all right, but more, please. More Johnny Hungy. Just, more Hungy. More Uno and Grayson as well, like, if you don't mind. Colt Cabana, too. Yeah, I like the Dark Order. I like a lot of their people.
Well, to me, it seemed like they didn't have much to say at all in this promo. This really didn't add much to anything. Just, okay, they're on the same page. They still argue sometimes anyways. But in the end, they're still on the same page. That's all I got from that. They're still goofy.
They're goofy, but, they're super talented, man. When Johnny Hungy starts doing his thing, people go crazy for that guy. I love that guy. Like, I don't think you fully understand how over he is with a certain group of AEW fans. Like, he is, to me, one of the most over guys in the company. I like him more than most people that they have. He's in my top 5 all the time. Constantly. Like, top 2 or 3 guys in the company. Really. He's great. It's like Brian, Hangman, Kenny, and Hungy. All right, top 4.
Wow.
That's right.
Wow. Look, I understand why you like him. Like, he's talented, but they're just not consistent enough with him. Like, he barely wrestles on Dynamite. And he has moments here and there, but they're very small. So, it's unlike someone like Orange Cassidy. Like, they push him like crazy. You see him all the time. Jungle Boy, you see him like all the time. So, you can tell, like, regardless if they're not the most talented, they're still going to get pushed like crazy. So, and sorry, but your guy isn't there all the time. Like, we see him for like, what, a minute, and that's it.
I know, but those other guys you mentioned, the Orange, the Jungle Boy, those guys can't even talk.
And yet, we see them more.
I know. Get your shit together, Tony Khan. I need more Johnny Hungy. I don't know what Johnny Hungy's done wrong, but the guy is goddamn entertaining. I don't know why they don't give me more Hungy. Give me more of all of the Dark Order. I really like that group. I think they're super entertaining. They play really well off each other, and I don't think that they should just be, on Being the Elite. I think they should be on TV more, wrestling more. They had a good moment last week, with the Brody Lee stuff. See how over Johnny Hungy was during that whole bit last week? Like, people go crazy for him. I don't know why they're not doing more with him.
I understand, but again, like, what happened this week? Not much, and did they have anything planned for next week? As of right now, no. Like, maybe they'll be in a big multi-man tag, and okay, that's fine, but
yeah,
he's got to get more singles matches. That's the problem.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, guys in AEW aren't generally under-pushed. You know what I mean? Like, people that are pushed in AEW, for the most part, it's all of, for their merit, and it's all merited, and it's all worthwhile, and, like, I believe Kenny Omega should be the top champion. I believe Hangman should be a top guy. Like, everybody that is currently in spots in the company, I believe that they belong in those spots, and they're all adequately pushed. I think Johnny Hungy is underpushed. I think he's the most underpushed guy in the whole company. Like, when I look at WWE, there's like a million guys that are underpushed, and you're like, why the fuck are these guys on top, and why aren't these other guys on top? It doesn't really make sense when you actually watch the show. When you watch AEW, it makes more sense, like, why these guys are on top and why these other guys aren't. With Hungy, I'm just like, I don't get it. He's the one guy where I'm like, he's so entertaining, I don't understand why they don't do more with him. I don't get it. He's the only one.
Super chat.
Like, Dante Martin gets an in-ring promo. Why? Like, he's super entertaining. He's a very good wrestler, but, like, promo-wise? I don't know. Angelo Contagonis dropping a super chat. Thank you. Patrick C. Hamilton with the $25 super chat. Thank you. Says, missed your birthday, Dave. Well, there you go. Happy birthday to me. Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate you. my birthday a few days ago. I'm wearing the sweet birthday present that Johnny North got me right now. Nick Diaz, 209, Stockton. So thank you, Patrick. Patrick C. Hamilton dropping that big super chat. He is now the super chat leader of the night. I know Angelo was gunning for Doug with that last super chat, but then Patrick blows everybody out of the water. Thank you, Patrick. Anyways, I'm just the biggest Johnny Hungy fan. I want the best for him. I want him to do everything. I like Dante Martin, no disrespect, but he was in the ring. He cut a little promo. He says he's here to fight anybody in the AEW locker room. And I'm like, all right. Okay. And then Malachi Black appears behind him, and he spits the black mist into his face and hits the black mass kick, and then the lights go out again, and Martin's out of the ring, and Malachi Black is just kind of standing there, and he says the House of Black accepts. So I guess it's going to be Malachi Black versus Dante Martin. I don't know if they told us when that match is going to be. Maybe next week on Dynamite? I don't know.
Yeah, I think they said, I don't remember exactly if it was Rampage or Dynamite, but I think they did say that match will happen soon.
Leo Rush was interested in that match. He offered his services to Dante Martin in a promo. He says, I like you, Dante Martin, but you need some backup with Malachi Black, and I'm a businessman, and I think we could talk, and my people will call you and make some sort of deal. So Leo Rush aligning himself with Dante Martin, maybe Leo Rush getting a group together? What do you think?
Maybe. I think they're just looking at potential matchups for Leo Rush. And I think that kind of style that Dante Martin gives is great for Leo Rush, especially for like a debut match. So I think they were just setting that up pretty much.
I don't know. I think Dante Martin needs something like Leo Rush to give him some sort of attitude and a character, a story, something. Like, join up with him. I think he'd be better off. Because what's he really going to do right now on his own? He's waiting for his tag team partner to get back from injury, right? It's a top flight tag team. Is he the one who's...
I think it's his brother.
It's his brother, right? So I guess he's just waiting around for his brother to come back, and then there'll be a team again. But they seem to kind of highlight him and say, like, "Lo, this is Dante Martin. Don't forget about this guy. He's good. He's on Dynamite a lot." They seem to have faith in him. So why not do something with him? Why not, have him do something more than just be Leo Rush's first opponent? Put him in a group with Leo Rush. Then when his brother comes back, the other Martin brother, have him in the group too with Leo Rush, and maybe add some other guys into the group. Like, why not? I think Leo Rush is good. Leo Rush, he's a good mouthpiece for a group like that. I think they should do it. I don't think it should be just for a match.
Well, there's a lot of groups in AEW, so yeah, why not another one? Personally, I think they don't need another one, but if Leo Rush is going to be successful, he's probably going to need a group. I think he's going to need some bigger guys, though.
Yeah, well, you start off with Dante Martin. Why can't he just have a group of high flyers like himself, like a bunch of flippy guys? Just like 5 guys that flip like crazy. That'd be fun.
I mean, he can do that himself. Like, he needs more muscle, really, pretty much. That's what his team needs.
I don't know. You've never seen a group of just a bunch of flippy guys. Could work.
Well, the LWO.
I don't know. How dare you call Eddie Guerrero just a flippy guy? Wasn't Conan in LWO? He wasn't no flippy guy. Was he in LWO?
Conan wasn't.
No, he
wasn't. I don't believe Conan was there.
He was just in NWO.
And Eddie got hurt right away. Like, he was there for 1 or 2 times, and then he wasn't.
When I think LWO, though, I only think Eddie Guerrero because he was the leader, right? It was his whole thing.
He created it. Yeah, but he couldn't wrestle the time, and he never ended up wrestling for LWO pretty much. I think maybe one time or something he did tagged, I think, with Psychosis or Hoovy.
Who else was in LWO? Psychosis, Air Hoovy, La Parca?
Yep. Cyclope.
Cyclope. Haven't heard of Cyclope in a while. How's he doing?
I mean, he could be still wrestling. I don't keep up with a lot of
Cyclope.
Lucha Libre, so.
Ricky Starks might know he's the FTW champion. Cut an in-ring promo tonight. Says he wanted to wrestle Brian Cage tonight, but Brian Cage isn't there. And then Brian Cage was there, and he ran to the ring and attacked Ricky Stark. Hook, Taz, and Hobbs pull Ricky to safety. Not Hook and Taz. Hook Taz. That's his name. He's Taz's son, Hook Taz. And Willie Hobbs, they pull Ricky to safety, pull him out of the ring. And it will be Cage versus Cage versus Starks on Friday night on Rampage in a street fight for the FTW title. What happens if Brian Cage takes the FTW title out of Team Taz? That's not good. What's Taz going to do? He's going to shit orange.
I don't know. I mean, again, we never really needed the FTW title to begin with, but it's there. So who knows? Hopefully there's an end game to this and they just get rid of the title because it's really unnecessary to have it.
Yeah. It's a title match where I don't give a shit who wins the belt. So I think it's kind of an unnecessary title, right? It's like the title's on the line. Who cares? Who cares? The Acclaimed are going to wrestle the Lucha Brothers for the tag team titles on Rampage. That should be good. Lucha Brothers will definitely win. CM Punk against Daniel Garcia. Jade Cargill versus Sky Blue. And then Ricky Starks versus Brian Cage. All on Rampage Friday night. On a show that will be taped from Philadelphia. They're taping it as we speak. Probably
Super
done
chat,
now.
Super chat.
But there is Dynamite. And Patrick C. Hamilton is our Super Chat leader. Thank you, Doug Hepburn. He says thanks again, Johnny and Dave. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Angelo. Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate all you guys supporting the Ringside Report Network tonight. Very generous Super Chatters tonight. We appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like this video if you have not already. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And leave a comment. We're looking to grow the subscribers, grow the channel, keep it moving, keep it growing, make it the biggest goddamn channel in professional wrestling history. We're on our way. We're almost there, right?
You know, Rome wasn't built in a day. It takes time.
Neither was Roman. And we'll be talking about Roman on Friday night after SmackDown. We'll be back. SmackDown in San Jose, California on Friday night. Hopefully see the return of Bayley, but I don't know. San Jose for SmackDown, and then we'll be watching Rampage with you as well. 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Friday night, right here, myself and Johnny. On the Ringside Report Network, it'll be Wrestling Uncensored at 10 p.m. We'll recap SmackDown and watch Rampage with you. We'll watch CM Punk versus Daniel Garcia and all of the rest. And I'll be back here tomorrow night with AJ and Freddie for Ringside Report MMA every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We talk everything in the UFC, Bellator, and beyond. Anything in the cage. We're talking about it on Ringside Report MMA. And tomorrow night we will preview the Dern Rodriguez Vegas UFC card coming up at the Apex on Saturday. So we'll get that preview for you tomorrow night, and anything else that's going on in the world of MMA we will cover tomorrow night right here on the Ringside Report Network.
Super chat.
Thank you to Patrick C. Hamilton. You are the Super Chat leader of the night. Thank you to Doug Hepburn for the Super Chats. Thank you to Angelo Contagonis. Angelo just dropped the Super Chat. He says, what about a review of the Dark Side of the Ring? Didn't we do that? I feel like we did that
I think
on
he means
Friday.
For Friday.
Oh, on
he
Friday.
means a new one will be, yeah.
Is there a new one tomorrow? Yeah, right? Probably. I don't know who it is.
I'm not mistaken. I want to say it's Johnny Canine.
Oh, is that tomorrow? That'll be sick.
Yeah.
I want to review the Sopranos movie that I saw, The Many Saints of Newark. I saw it. I went to the movies yesterday, John, with my brother.
Wow.
Yeah.
When was the last time you went to the movies?
Oh, man, it's been years. Literally years, because, pandemic and everything. And I took the Metro, too, to get to the movies. I took the Metro.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't taken the Metro since February 2020, so that was quite an experience yesterday. Back in the subway cars, during a pandemic, I completely swore it off, but I put on a brave face, and it's just tough getting downtown and driving downtown and parking and everything, so I said, all right, if I'm going downtown to the movies, sitting in a theater, might as well take the Metro there. It was just much easier for me, and I did all that. And I want to review the movie, but I kind of want to do it when it's a show with my brother here. I think he'll be here with me on Monday after Raw, so we'll do like a full Many Saints of Newark review then. Doug Hepburn says he just saw episode 1 of Sopranos. Wow. Well, catch up, Doug. There's many great episodes for you. If you're just starting watching Sopranos, I mean, enjoy. It's probably the greatest show in the history of television. I've seen every episode like a million times. So I was definitely geared up. If there was a movie that was going to get me out there, it was going to be the Sopranos movie. I'm a Sopranos super fan. And, I liked it. I liked the movie. I was ready not to like it. I was, but it was not as good as The Sopranos. It didn't quite feel like The Sopranos. It felt like kind of a sketch of The Sopranos, like people doing young Sopranos. There was a lot of things that were wrong with the movie. There was a lot of things that were right with the movie. I liked some things about it. It felt like a comedy to me, though. I don't think it's supposed to be a comedy, but I was laughing my ass off. Joey Diaz was fucking hilarious in this movie. I don't know if it was intentional, but every time I see Joey Diaz, I fucking laugh. He's funny, man. He's Joey Diaz. He's fucking mad flavor, I love that guy. So when I saw Joey Diaz, every time I see him, I can't help but laugh. Everything he says, it's funny. Oh, fuck. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a point where you just see a picture of him, and he's just sitting there like this. And it's just so funny, just his face, his smile. I love it, because I know what he's thinking. He's thinking, fucking edibles, cocksucker, whatever the fuck he's doing. Tremendous. I fucking love that guy. Love Uncle Joey. So, I mean, Joey Diaz is in the movie. It's a Sopranos movie. Like, I had to go. And I liked it, but it did feel like a comedy. They gave Uncle Junior like a fucking catchphrase. He said it twice in the movie. He said it. He says "sister's cunt" at one point when he falls in his shower in this show, and then in the fucking movie he says it twice. He falls one time, and then for another reason he says it, and it's like it's not a catchphrase. Try to give him fucking catchphrases. It felt like it was cheap. And there was a lot of confusing kind of elements of the movie. I was like, what? What's this for? It was good, but it was not the Sopranos movie that I wanted. I think it could have been much better. The whole thing with Dickie Moltisanti and how he dies, like, what the fuck? I guess that's a spoiler, but if you watch The Sopranos, Dickie dies. And as soon as I saw the TV trays, I said, uh-oh, Dickie's about to get it. There's the TV trays that Chrissy was talking about. Anyways, I'll talk more about the movie with my brother. I have a lot of thoughts, obviously. But I went to see the movie, John. All right? I went to see a goddamn movie. Dave movie review is going to happen. And look at this thing. I built this with my own hands. Out of Lego. It looks like a shoe, doesn't it? But it's not a shoe. Look, it's Lego. Look at all that. Look at that.
Except the laces.
Yeah, the laces are real. But this is Lego. This is all built out of Lego. I built this shoe out of Lego. It's fucking awesome.
It looks like that took a long time.
It didn't. It actually did not take very long. I'm really good at building Lego. I love it. I love doing it. No, Doug Hepburn says it's a spoiler. It's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler about Dickie Moltisanti because he's not actually in The Sopranos. He's not a character in Sopranos. Dickie Moltisanti is not a Sopranos character. He's a guy. He's Christopher's father, and they reference him a few times in The Sopranos. He's a guy that kind of Tony came up under, and it's the relationship. The movie explores a relationship between Tony, young Tony, and Dickie Moltisanti. And the movie really is about Dickie more than anything. It's about Dickie Moltisanti, and I didn't love Dickie. And after seeing the movie, I thought, that's fucking Dickie Moltisanti? Really? I thought he was a junkie. Like, in The Sopranos, he's a junkie. In this movie, he's not a junkie. He's not doing any drugs here. So the character was not exactly how they described him, so it's kind of weird. I didn't love Dickie Moltisanti, and just everything about him, and there's a lot. There's going to be some spoilers in my review. There's going to have to be, because there's a lot to unpack with that movie. But, yeah, I wasn't very impressed with Dickie. I was like, that's Dickie? All right. But he's not a character in Sopranos, Doug, so don't worry. All right? John, you ever seen Sopranos?
Yeah, like a long time ago, like 2007, 8, like.
So when I talk about Dickie and the TV trays, you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, because you saw it one time and then that was it. Like, I'm still watching Sopranos. I watch it all the time. I seriously, I watch it all the time. I'm always just watching it. I got nothing to do, just throw it on TV, just start watching fucking Sopranos. I've seen every episode. Like, I'm not kidding with you, probably 20, 30, 40 times. At least 20, 30, 40 times. In that range.
That's cool. Like, it's a good show. No question about it. But yeah, I definitely haven't watched it that many times.
Yeah. No, I'm like, I'm obsessed with it. It's like something about it. It's comforting. And the more you watch it, the fucking funnier it is. And I think that's why. Like, I'm in the theater with my brother. I'm laughing my ass off. He's laughing. Not everybody in the theater is laughing. And I'm like, oh, maybe it's not that funny for you guys. I don't know. But there's just a lot of shit where if you know the show really well and then you see how things go in this movie, it's like, oh, it's funny. It's funny. Doug says he constantly watches Seinfeld and The Office. Yeah, see, everybody's got some of those shows they just kind of watch over and over again. Seinfeld, like, I go deep in Seinfeld. Seinfeld, I've seen all the episodes just as much as I've seen Sopranos, if not more. So I'm a Seinfeld guy too, Doug. I'm with you on that. Love Seinfeld. I built a Seinfeld Lego set too. It's pretty goddamn sweet.
Well, I imagine the Mario one's the most impressive.
They're fun. I don't know. This Superstar shoe is pretty dope. I don't know. Like, look at this. It looks like a shoe. I mean, this is kind of nice.
Didn't you build, like, the Mushroom Kingdom? Like,
yeah, I built a Bowser's Castle, which was pretty sweet. Lego is really fun. I like Lego. All right? And that's it. I'm done. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you. I'll be back here tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Ringside Report MMA right here on the Ringside Report Network.